think the honorable thing for our species to do is deny our programming. Stop reproducing. Walk hand in hand into extinction. One last midnight, brothers and sisters opting out of a raw deal.
Do not trust any friends or family members. I repeat, do not trust friends.
Yeah, I guess so. Is it really easy to make a hot dog? Like to actually make one? Like put
to make one? No, that's
put
yeah,
the
you're
slurry
right.
and no, to cook in a hot dog's as easy as pie.
You need the infrastructure to make a hot dog.
Yeah, someone to hold the sack to put the meat in. At least.
Yeah, whatever
like
the casing
a garbage
is.
bag. Yeah.
Well, what do you mean? Like make from scratch?
Yeah. Gotta grind up the meat and the bone, I assume, intestines, etc. God.
Bone.
I saw a photo on
man.
Reddit. It was like an accident, and it was like a hot dog. It was like a vat, like a truck that was carting hot dog filler, and it was just all over the road, just this pink fucking slurry.
Oh,
so nasty.
I know. You guys ever remember that infamous video of chicken nuggets?
Yeah, the pink slime.
The fucking paste that they just like molded into the same 4 shapes or whatever.
Yeah, Jamie Oliver did a hit job on the old chicken nugget.
Did he?
Oh man.
Yeah, I think he was a big driver behind that campaign.
What's the
why? What has he got to gain from
exactly
everything?
Defaming the chicken
benefits?
Nugget.
Fine dining benefits.
Oh no, I gotta track this back to the.
Oh, to the dark money.
That's right.
I don't know. It should be the other way around, though. I mean, who's got darker money than McDonald's? I challenge anyone. Other than the Koch brothers, I don't think he gets darker than that.
I think you're probably right.
Oh. The original clown pedophiles.
What?
I'm thinking of Ronald McDonald. Why do you think they got rid of him, man?
Yeah, he's gone away for a long time.
Yeah. It's a little on the nose. It's like that cosmic contract law that Alex Jones, McDonald's, infamously has a known pedophile ring, and so they had the clown right up front, advertising, taunting. You just had to decode it. And because evil must advertise itself, right?
Oh God, it's so true.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm looking at the slurry, the pink filler on the highway.
You found it?
Yeah. Well, I just looked up. My search terms were as complex as like hot dog filler spill, and yeah, it looks like a bunch of ice cream just got like Neapolitan ice cream. Fucking disgusting.
There's a thought I like to preserve next time I'm eating a hot dog.
Yeah. Like when Homer finds all that sugar in the middle of the highway.
Exactly.
That's great. What is slurry?
What do you mean? Like it's just like it's a slurry, man. It's a bunch of stuff, and you just I assume like
taste.
Does spam count as a slurry?
That's an excellent question. My next Google search is
slurry. Yeah, semi-liquid mixture, typically of fine particles of manure, cement, or coal dust suspended in water. I didn't know about that part. Okay.
This description is the grossest thing I've ever seen. Reconstituted meat slurry, or emulsified meat, is a liquefied meat product that contains fewer fats, pigment, and less myoglobin than unprocessed meat.
Jesus
shit!
Christ.
The myoglobin, the worst goblin, right up there with the hobgoblin. Just
not
Demogoblin.
Demogoblin's still superior. At least you can reason with him.
Yeah, or distract him. Point him in the direction of some goth chick that he becomes slave to.
Oh fuck, that'd be awful.
Yeah. Well, you think so?
What's the acronym? Big titty goth girl.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I'm sure there's a subreddit devoted to that, as there is to many things.
There is a well-circulated acronym, Rev.
Yeah.
Pardon me. Click, click.
So James, you didn't actually send us the articles, and I wasn't as enterprising enough to do a search as I was.
No, because it's garbage. It's garbage topics. It's for eat the rich.
Yeah. So what are they complaining about? We got TikTok people. They're upset about something. What are they?
I don't know. What did I post in there?
Something like they had a 6-figure salary or something. And
oh yeah, it was like it was a bunch of influencers. On TikTok, they were crying because there's a potential for them to be banned in Canada, right? And in the US, so there's all these people making 6 figures being just like wastes of human fucking life. And I'm not saying that lightly. I mean it. If you're an influencer, you're devoid of all everything.
Wow.
There's just there's nothing. It's just an empty, hollow thing. I don't know what you're doing, but you're ruining everyone's lives. But yeah, they're making like 6 figures. Congrats to fucking angling that shithole in. But I guess the money could run short. The show could be over, and I guess they're sad about it. So they want to voice how they deserve to be a part of that or whatever. I don't know.
Is Canada such a big income stream though? Like, is Canada make or break?
I mean, some of these guys were 6 figures people. So I mean, I guess there's enough of them.
Or are they Canadian, like people who won't be able to access their channels? Is that the idea?
Yeah. Well, I guess they're Canadian people that won't be able to access their like fan base and ad revenue and so on.
That's real sad.
Is it?
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's because like there's all the security concerns, like supposed security concerns about TikTok, which are probably legitimate. I just don't know enough about the topic to really have an opinion. And yeah, I mean, like if everybody has to, like if it becomes essentially illegal to have, which is a wild thought.
Well, I'm pretty sure the security concerns were already there and valid, like on the onset of the app being released. But I mean, like, I'm pretty sure the ship sailed. Like, you sell out your soul when you download the app. You actually don't even need an account, and it can track everything you do, like even typing algorithms and stuff. So they have access to your passwords, your banking, your habits, everything. You forego all your rights to that. It's in their terms and conditions.
Yeah, it's horrifying.
Yeah, it's all in there. It's plain too. It's in the.
I read something to that effect that like it even if you're not using the app, the way it's set up, and I don't understand the technical elements of this, is just like it doesn't gather information directly. It sort of gathers it indirectly by accessing other apps that you are using. That's my understanding of how they managed to do something like that. And so, yeah, I mean, like people have been talking about it since it fucking showed up. That like nobody trusts the goddamn Chinese.
It's people. That's a fact. But I think people I think people get caught up. It's like I don't know, like you get the quick scroll dopamine rush. It's like jerking off. People just love it. They're not going to give it up. They're like, fine, steal my info. I love jerking off.
Yeah, it reminds me of in this episode of the Star Trek: The Next Generation always sort of haunted me. Remember when Riker goes to that, like, because he always went on vacation to those pleasure planets, those basically like sex work planets.
Oh, it's such a good episode. Yeah.
And that lady, like, she's like, okay, you want to try this new thing, and she gets him to play this little video game, and like,
and it just like goes on right on the like neurocortex and gives him like a pleasure rush or whatever.
Yeah,
He's basically addicted to heroin.
Yeah, and then like they just go through the ship like addicting everybody to like space heroin. And yeah, it was really creepy. It was like it's obviously it's sort of an invasion of the body snatchers, but it just struck me as so insidious and frightening because like it's not like it's playing, well, I guess it's playing video games. It's the entertainment industry mind controlling everybody. It just struck me as like through dopamine manipulation, through neurochemical manipulation, and it just struck me as a little too one of those few moments where science fiction like actually happens in Star Trek, because usually it's just a fantasy galleon scenario or something like that, or a naval fantasy.
Right.
Anyway, so anyway, yeah, the influencers. I mean, I guess we'll get a chance to talk about that when we get into Triangle.
I'm sorry. Maybe I was too hard on the influencers. I don't know. I just think it's like it's not like if what you do isn't transferable from the TikTok app, you don't have a real job or skill. You're shit lucky. Congrats. If the money stream ends, well, no one gives a fuck.
Yeah, you kind of hedged your bets. You could be grateful that you got this much out of it. It's like just a step down from modeling, right? Like, I don't.
It's right there. Yeah. Like, if it's so one dimensional that when your looks run out, you're fucking up the river dry, then, well, I mean, sorry, but I mean, congrats on the good looks on the onset.
Yeah, you can get. I think the analogy goes even to like sports figures or whatever. Like at a certain point, you lose the capacity. Like you'll always be better at a sport than everybody else, and unless you like.
Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah.
But at a certain point, you're going to age out. Like you're just kind of you will. It has an ephemeralness to it, which is part and parcel to entertainment. How many actors and actresses just kind of disappear, like I'm sure they still have careers, but they don't get to keep stardom, and these people are upset that they're not going to keep their stardom. And
don't hate the game, hate. I actually, what can you
don't hate the player?
No, but don't hate the game either, because that's the game.
Yeah,
I'm not sure where I'm going with this.
What was the other thing I posted in there? Sorry, I switched phones.
Oh yeah, something about landlords. They were all fucking.
Oh,
actually, this one called me.
The one dude.
Yeah.
The two Redditors made a website where you could basically land-base your landlord if they're a piece of shit. It's just like review your landlord, right? Similar to like like Google reviews. Yeah. I can go to Subway and I can be like, that Subway sucked ass. They didn't make my sandwich properly, and the lady was rude to me, so on and so forth. Whatever, right? I don't. All I need is a Gmail address. I don't need any miraculous verification process in order to leave that review behind. So, long story short, if you want to have a well-reviewed business, you have to fucking act like you're running a business. It's not 1975 anymore. You have to pull up your fucking bootstraps and do a good job. But this, I guess, landlord, this guy in particular was so fucking cheesed about it. He's been on a couple media news outlets, but I guess the guy's very like anti-tenant, and he's a real estate agent. He's like basically describing the scum of the earth.
Yeah, he's the prick.
And he's just he advised that people should only be allowed to comment on a forum about their landlord if this was vetted and proven in a court of law that their complaint was valid.
Yeah, it sounds like what the funny part is it reminded me of your attitude towards IMDb. Like every time you're like, who the fuck leaves these reviews? Like you just let any fucking guy leave these reviews.
Well, I mean, I guess I'm the guy now, and I'm on the opposite side of the coin, which is funny. The guy was just like outraged, and it's like how ludicrous to believe that only in this fantasy world where you have like enough financial power to fucking run roughshod over all of your tenants, even in a court setting, you have a grandiose advantage because you're fucking like a real estate owner. You're capitalizing on the lives of renters, and less fortunate. So, I mean, obviously you're going to win scenarios more often in court. So it's just it's crazy to even insinuate that you're just like you're complaining about something and then citing an example where you would have the biggest advantage. Like, it's fucking ludicrous. And it's insane that they even published it.
Yeah, no, and it's like on the one hand I get it, but it's such lawyer talk, like it was like without it being without it being proven in a court of competent jurisdiction, like that's a that's a lawyer term that gets thrown around all the time at where I work, like I'm talking about a competent jurisdiction.
Oh yeah, these guys
Yeah.
are gonna cry slander up the river and try and get this
Absolutely.
thing shut down.
Yeah. Which often works.
Well, the thing
Places
for me
where-
is
yeah.
like if a business is not absolved from the ability to have consumers like go on a public forum and cite criticisms about the business, then why should being a landlord? It's literally not any different than a business. You're a business owner. You're running a business. Actually, if you're not running a business, you're committing tax fraud. So you are literally a business.
Yeah.
If I drop your name and a review on your name, well, sorry. Like, I mean, I don't see how. I mean, it's actually shocking to me in 2023 that these scumbags have been able to skirt any kind of public reviewing system.
Yeah, that's a good. Well, the thing is though, like you can get sued for posting a bad review on Homestars, right? Like Subway doesn't go out and start prosecuting people for bad reviews because like they're big enough and they don't give a shit. But I'm absolutely certain that some of the contractors that like we had a really shitty contractor once, and we get the impression that they threatened to file suit against a lady for what was very likely a justified bad review of their business. And while we're chatting here, I was just curious. I was like looking up, slap suits run by businesses. The Ontario's Libel and Slander Act has a provision addresses defamation as the publication of malicious content issued for the information of the public. It has provisions for bringing a civil action for defamation within 3 months of finding out about an alleged defamatory online review. So it's baked right into the acts, like. So it can happen, but these fucks, like, I think the news story about this is that they're acting on it because, of course they are. Landlords are fucking. I know people who own property, so I don't want to be a dick, but.
Oh no, they're dicks.
Yeah.
You know one that's not a dick?
I don't know. I don't know what their business practices are. I haven't I haven't talked to them. I bet not, but maybe you don't get rich signing checks. That's for sure. That's what I learned. Anyway,
sorry, friends.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's not April anymore. We fucked this up. It's was supposed to be Eat the Rich April, and now it's Eat the Rich May 1st.
Yeah.
May Day.
You know what?
May Day.
We don't need to be bound by dates or an arbitrary calendar instituted by the Romans or whoever. Like
the rich, you mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, for fuck's sakes! I know.
Yeah.
That's just to keep us
control us.
That's just to keep us penned in our slavery jobs.
Mm-hmm. All starts with the Catholic Church. Guys. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, Jesus. Nazis.
I just learned the other night that because there's you can go Mayday, which is obviously bad, but then there's a lesser form which is like pan, it's referred to as a state of urgency, distinct from a Mayday call. I didn't know about that, but we weren't dealing with a pan situation here on Triangle of Sadness, were we?
No. This is a Mayday for sure.
Yeah.
And it's May, so
yeah, it's Mayday. Yeah. Triangle of Sadness, Extinction Agenda. James? Good. No, sorry, that was me introducing myself. You are Jimmy. You are James.
Also,
I'm Chris.
Secondary.
And Chris. All right, we did it. There
We're
we go.
gonna get this one of these days.
Yeah.
Finally, Teen Machine.
Yep. Fantastic. I kind of hope we never do. So yeah, we so another entry into the Eat the Rich category. There were so many to choose from, but we picked some very recent movies. This one came out last year. Ruben Östlund's Triangle of Sadness. Big movie in terms of like goes on forever.
It was
very long movie.
Yeah, longer than I took it for.
Yeah. So this one, there's obviously criticisms of this movie that one can make or easily make even. But it did make my top list for last year, and I'm very taken with it. I like how mean it is. It is a mean fucking movie.
You know what else I think you might like it? You're our personal drunk Marxist captain, and I bet you feel some sympathy for Woody Harrelson there.
I do. You're not wrong. That's funny. I will get the sales clean. Don't worry. So I just wanted to put my cards on the table off the bat. I knew it wasn't a surprise or anything, but how'd you guys feel about this one?
Go ahead, James.
I really enjoyed it because it's right up my alley. It's just so obnoxious and mean. It's mean-spirited, and it's like, and there's no real subtle undertones or secondary sort of subplot running. It's just pure offense.
That's true. That's a good way of putting it. And Chris?
Yeah, I like this movie. It really came at you. It had good satirical bite. I think the longer it went, the funnier it got too. Like at first, I was wondering whether, I'd heard it was billed as a comedy. It was a little bit, there are funny moments, but like towards the end, it really gets, especially on the island.
Yeah. I and when it makes the turn, when the mess arrives, like I was crying laughing. I couldn't believe what this movie was getting away with, and yet still being like really. I think it's a really smart movie. In like there are things to think about, but it's cringe comedy, sort of intellectualism.
Oh yeah, and it's supposed to. You're not gonna like. I wasn't laughing out loud very often, but like I did get like little snickers or little like wince-aways where I'm like, oh, like get out of here. When he got that guy fired for for taking off his shirt or whatever, Carl. And he just like couldn't. He is having like this guttural reaction on the side of the boat.
Fucking Carl.
Carl's a beauty.
So just for anyone who hasn't seen this movie, I guess a quick summary of the plot. We got two models, one male, one female, and there's a power imbalance right off because like I didn't know this, but male models don't make as much as female models. So he feels like insecure despite the fact that he has all of society's, desired cultural traits. Like he's an influencer, he's handsome, he's got a hot girlfriend, but he's kind of pathetic. And they end up on a cruise, this couple, and it's a bunch of rich people, like they got the cruise for free. And, there's a lot of, aren't the rich disgusting sort of moments, and and the yacht that they're on really materializes the power imbalance or like the class structure of society. Yeah. And then they crash for complex reasons, and then no one has, and then they land on the island and they have to survive on the island, like Gilligan's Island style, for a little while. And within that, more elements of power are explored, and then it ends. I don't know. Does that seem right?
Yeah, that's fabulous.
It's good. Took a couple of viewings to get there, but
yeah, you don't know where it's going, and it's very meticulous in examining power dynamics and social dynamics and gender dynamics.
Hmm. Yeah, like the when they're having that dinner at the beginning.
Yeah, Carl and his girlfriend Yaya.
Yeah. And she's pretending not to see the bill, and I like there's something I think I would find this movie annoying if it didn't hit so close to home. Like there is money and power within relationships is a real thing. And what this movie does is like reverse the traditional gender roles, but then have Carl constantly like, we shouldn't have these gender roles. But his real problem is not that there's like it's that he's on the losing end of the gender role in this instance. And the irony is that, like he's the handsome model. Like you just don't think that it would be like this. But he's sort of the bottom. And but because he's a man, despite the fact that he makes less money, she expects him to be anyway. And then it plays that out for a while.
Yeah, like that's so uncomfortable and not funny either.
Yeah.
Which was like a sort of funny, like a fun tone to sort of start the movie with.
Yeah, except for the elevator part where it's like he's just like, just yelling at her about that's not the point, and just like constantly having to open the elevator again. Just kind of
and he puts the 50 euros, jams it in the elevator.
That's right. What are you doing with my money?
My money, yeah.
I actually really I liked all of her little deflections too, like just like her little strategies, and just like eventually she's like, I think it's very unsexy to talk about money.
Yeah, the classic deflection.
Yeah.
Oh man, I know. She really had him dead to rights. He just looked like she just gaslit him into looking like a fucking lunatic.
And the other, like, she doesn't have any money. Like, so finally she agrees to pay, and then her cards are rejected. And I was reminded of a movie called Margin Call, which was about the 2008 stock crash. And one of the things that the movie emphasized is that like all of these rich people were actually poor, in the sense that not rich people, let's say like mid-level rich people, people who work in stocks and have all these cultural elements attached to them. They don't have any money because they spend it all, and they're still in debt. They spend it on all these cars, and they don't manage. Ironically, they don't manage themselves well. Or not ironically, maybe fittingly. And I thought about that, like just because all these people, their lives are often dependent on debt to the same extent that our lives often revolve around debt.
I found this a little confusing, and maybe because they do say that like you make more money than me, but maybe it's sort of like like you get all these products, and so therefore you have this net worth, maybe.
Right. Hard to say. Well, I don't know, like they don't give you enough information but someone's got to buy all those clothes, someone's got to do all the stuff that is associated. And, she's like, my friends all say that I'm generous. So,
because like she gets the products for free, right? Like even she's like, I bought you that shirt. And he's like, well, actually, you got the shirt for free.
Right. Yeah.
You're staying in my hotel, which she also got for free. And
yeah, so they are like this pure epiphenomenon that emerges from wealth and the the class system, and they float on top of it, but there's no bottom to them. They don't even sink. They don't even float away. They would just disappear.
Yeah, I like that it was a little bit humanized her a little bit too, though. Like when she finally like comes clean and says, like I'm just so good at being manipulative, I do it without even realizing it. And then she kind of gives a reason that like it's not about, she wants to know that somebody will take care of her, and then so she's looking for someone who can do that, right? And so like they have that conversation where he like says, I'm gonna make a wager on this, I'm gonna make you love me, and she's just kind of laughing at him, and it's all out in the open, but like she's kind of charmed nevertheless, but it's a very transactional thing.
Well, for her, he really does, although the movie will belie that later as he becomes trophy husband. But yeah, there is the sense that, he does want to win her in some sort of romantic sense. I think you're right, Chris. Like this movie one of the things I brought up about the menu, and I wanted to point out is, you know, the rich couple where like Angela from Who's the Boss and that other guy who's also a TV fella, they don't really have a personality, and you're like, why do they deserve to die? Like, what's so bad about them, and like what's characteristic of them? And I don't think it did a good job of establishing that character. Whereas this movie, like those, you know, like that old couple on the yacht, you know, like they were just like, we uphold democracies, you know, like our number one product was the hand grenade, and they're just so nice, you know, they're just, and you're just like, God, I hope these people fucking die. This is and it.
The UN regulations brought in tough times, 25% dip in our profits, but we persevered.
Yeah. And he holds your hand, and you're like, these people are fucking disgusting. Like that degree of niceness and that degree of cognitive dissonance, like it's just gross to me. Like, but it's also so human, you know, getting back to the Yaya thing. Like everybody, I'm not going to say that this is like a novel or everybody's well-rounded, but there's more than a sketch happening here. And I think that's what ultimately charmed me about it. Like, what James said is like, it's full on aggro, full on frontal assault all the time. And then also, but still has some depth to it. So, you know, you're not hungry at the end.
Well, you can see the actually look no further than the reviews again on IMDb if you want to see the, like how much of an assault the movie actually is too, because the Americans tend to really toe the line on capitalism, and you can go sift through there for your 3-star reviews all day long, and they'll just be like, oh, this has the subtlety of a left-wing party. That's a quote from one of the reviews.
It is true.
It's true. It is. But it's like, if you're at the point where you're reviewing a movie and you're so offended by the hilarity of a satirical political standpoint that you can't even cast like set that aside to like look at the composition of the film, and you're just like, 1 star. I'm American. I mean, well, that's funny in itself almost.
Yeah.
But I am sympathetic to an extent. Like when I just while you were speaking, I was like, oh, like here's, you know, pretentiously moralizing films attempting to please trendy prejudices. Yeah. Like, well, I'm willing to see that perspective, but that doesn't mean it's a bad movie. Like it is like the menu. It's didactic. Like it's a didactic. You say
it about film. Casablanca, you know, like. I mean, like fuck these people. Like they're mad that Princess Peach like is active in fighting Bowser in the Mario movie. So I don't give a shit what they have to say.
Okay, I love it.
Awesome. I really like the shit salesman.
Oh my goodness, what's that dude's name? I love that. I don't know that actor, but I loved him. What was his name?
Yeah, he really
Slatko.
He charmed the fuck out of me. Yeah.
He was pretty awesome.
Everybody in this was great, even when you thought that they were gonna suck, like that the Jarmo guy, the other rich fella, with the hair crown.
Yeah, I'm so fucking rich.
Yeah,
let's not beat around the bush, ladies.
Yeah. Well, I love what makes him so happy is just like, he's obviously sort of been rejected, and again, it's one of those things, like he's very powerful, but he's still experiencing emotional rejection, and he's like he's posting a photo on, you know, like, and he's trying to make someone jealous, and like the women realize that and help him, and like he's like, fuck, I love the, you know, like because they just helped me like piss off this bitch that just, you know, but he's such a nice guy, but really that's what he's so happy about. Anyway, that's how I took it.
No, I think you're right. A couple of things I loved about that scene too. Like, well, first of all, the products that keep coming up. Like, I would love to buy you a Rolex.
Buy you a Rolex. Yeah, that's right.
And then just the fact that like that whole, like, because at first the salesman guy and Carl are like just laughing at this guy. Oh, like maybe he's got a chance as he approaches them. But then the fact, you know, like their whole their whole pretense crumbles because like it really is all about money with both of these women. Like they're both trophy, or like Yaya wants to be a trophy wife. So like it's just the fact that this guy's rich is a big threat to them, right? And like their faces just start to fall as as the women sort of like flirt with them, and like how rich are you?
Yeah. And then they slink away. He like, because they're so smarmy at first, like, oh, he's such a failure at the dating game. Like, look at this guy. And but and then they just kind of disappear. And again, it adds to Carl's sort of patheticness.
Yeah. And I think like a lot of what this movie just does over and over again is strips away pretense. Especially like there's so many illusions, like probably like 5 or 6 times you get this idea like everybody's equal. It's part of the modeling campaign that starts the movie. It's brought up when Carl's talking about gender dynamics, and then in at the pool side too, at the like where the lady wants the staff to join in and like jump in the pool and all that, and she's like, look, we're all equal here.
I command you.
Enjoy the moment.
Are you saying no to me? Yes. No. Yeah. It's like she just can't do it.
Yeah, Carl. Yeah, some of the quotes here. Yeah, when it comes to you and me, we're dealing with roles that I hate. This is Carl. I don't want to be the man whilst you're the woman. I want to be best friends. I don't want to sleep with my best friend. No, that's not. You don't understand what I'm trying to say. I mean, we shouldn't just slip in. Oh, yeah. He ends off like I want us to be equal. And and I call horse shit on that. Obviously, like you're not wrong to say that it is a theme, but like everybody brings up the comment of equality only because they're in the same way that a conspiracy theorist is more likely to be a loser, like literally like someone who has lost something within society. The discourse of equality is a weapon of the weak against the powerful. Which is like it's not that we want to be equal. It's like I want power too.
Or a subterfuge on the part of the powerful. Like, but every time it's evoked in this movie, like it's covering up some real shitty thing,
Yeah. Well, yeah. Sorry, I wrote down like from the fashion show, like everyone's equal now, act now, love now. There is a new climate entering the world of fashion. Baby. Cynicism masquerading as optimism. Ladies first, and I'm just like, oh. And I know, like, and this is where I see the complaint, because it's not subtle at all. Like this thing hits you over the head with a hammer.
No,
but
that's
like,
true. Yeah.
But it's a joke.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And if you're watching the movie and you get to Woody being like unleashed, and what I interpret is him driving them directly into a storm on purpose.
I didn't think about that. I like it.
And just being completely like negligent because he knew he was going to be able to handle the water.
Right.
But like when he starts having the back and forth with the communist guy that's just having he starts towing the communist line, the socialism line, while the other guy's towing capitalism or whatever, and they're having that back and forth. That's just I feel like that's just slinging shit. That's just like you have to know that this is a gag now because they're just throwing all their subtext right at you, and then and doing like Marx quotes, and it's a blast. Like that's when I was like, oh man, this is fun. Like and like if you're not picking up that the whole thing's just kind of a gag, and it's I mean like obviously it's just an exaggerated satirical joke, so I don't know how you can read it and get serious about it and not see how great the composition is. But
yeah the problem is I think it's maybe, well, not maybe, it's very effective. Like although it in its hammerness it smashes effectively, because we might as well talk about the ultimate scene of the movie when everybody starts throwing up and shitting and toilets are exploding, and it's just like it takes the rich and it just reduces them to their monkeyness and takes them out of the context of power and reduces them to like just just the most human thing possible. Just someone who can't even control themselves. Like they're just
consuming and barfing and shitting.
Yeah. And then
the best was that they all tried to eat through it. Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one of these like downing champagne.
Yeah.
And then barfing more.
Champagne. Yeah, Vera or whatever, Dimitri's wife, like actual wife, like like he's got like the trophy girlfriend that he's obviously banging on the side, and she's like tolerant of it, and so she's drunk the entire time, and she's the one that commands everybody. Like it's a series of events that lead to the vomiting scene and to the crash on the island, and it kind of starts with, you might say it starts with Vera's jealousy for Dimitri's trophy wife, but I mean, I don't know that the movie hits too hard on that, but it's definitely when she commands everybody to go for a swim. Because well, I guess there's also Woody, right? Because James, you're right. Like the lady who's in charge of I guess we'll call her chief stewardess. She's like, we have to have the captain's dinner, but any day but Thursday. And he's like, Thursday's great. And she's like, no, not Thursday. Yeah, and just all these things, these connecting bits, collide with like explosive force. I've never seen on film someone vomiting and shitting at the same time, and in such a disgusting fashion. And then like,
there's a terrible physicality to it too, like when that lady's like just kind of like sliding on the floor and then being slammed into the wall and then like still like vomiting, like
that's fantastic.
Yeah,
you would not want to be on that ride.
Refuse is playing in the background, and like I love the music in this. And then like even as all of that catastrophe is going on, the underclass, the Filipino staff, are already out there scrubbing up the barf, like already cleaning up so that way the animality of the guests is submerged again, like yeah. But in this particular instance, like no one can erase the animality of everybody, because there's going to be the crash and the attack and that kind of thing. But theoretically, this could have just disappeared, or at least like physical traces of it could have disappeared, and everybody could have just complained,
Yeah. I like that reading that, like maybe he was taking them through just to, like give them a little turbulence for the, their shitty lives. I love when they're like lecturing when him and when Dimitri are like on the radio. They're just like lecturing them about pay your taxes.
Yes.
And then he's like, yeah, you're swimming in abundance that the rest of the world is drowning in misery. That's not the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Like it's so didactic in those moments, but like I agree with you. It's like by making it that in your face, it is a gag.
And it also gives you tools to have a debate with, like, and or at the very least, like it is the ultimate abstract debate, because they're not actually, like, when Dimitri and Woody Harrelson are talking, they're just really pleased by the quotes that are presented to them. They're like I don't know the analogy, but like it's like they're just kind of doing dance moves or something like that. Like, oh, very good, like they're not really discussing anything. It's like pure surface. Until yeah, well, I guess he's Woody starts reading from Noam Chomsky or reading from his diary or whatever. Like Dimitri doesn't. He's still in, the ship is going down. So, oh wait, the ship is going under. Yeah, the ship is going under. Yeah, he gets a voice, but he kind of disappears, and it ends up being Woody Harrelson. But, yeah, and yeah, anyone who's upset about that or feels that like it's pretentious, and it is, but that's fine. Watching one of the old ladies vomit right now. The defense, the grenade lady.
Oh yeah.
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 I like how they
Yeah.
died.
Oh yeah, exactly. The because the pirates attack. But I get like until that point, like really the ship's already been like hijacked by the wealthy, you know. So
Yeah, it's true. And it and then they're like prone. I'm not sure what the pirate. I guess this movie's always like drawing analogies. So there's that one guy who claims to be the ship mechanic, but later on he admits that he was actually a pirate. And he's talking with Dimitri, and Dimitri's like, how much money you make, you know? And he's like, you know what you got to do with that money? You got to have to start investing it, you know? Like,
giving him business tips.
Yeah, because like it's just business, right? You know, you collect some money, you pirate for a little while, you do some like it doesn't like business. Good business is where you find it, right? That's what Omni consumer products have taught me. Mhm. Mm. Yeah. So yeah, I guess after it gets hijacked by the rich, it becomes vulnerable to decay or decline or whatever, and then on the island, I guess where Abigail starts to shine.
I really enjoyed too, right before the vomiting, when the captain's burger and fries are revealed.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't like fine dining.
I don't care for fine dining. And then the fucking guy's got this absolutely repulsive like fucking squid arm.
Yeah.
Oh god.
He's just sadly just peering over at this beauty looking burger and fries.
I'm always so pleased when Woody Harrelson shows up in a movie. He's just so charming.
I feel like that was a great. I actually didn't know Woody was in the movie. I've seen the poster for the movie, but I saw different promotional posters than the one with Woody out front.
Right.
So when he was revealed, I feel like that in itself gave like a swerve to the movie for me. I was like, oh, yeah. like it was like a big reveal. I was more excited, and I feel like it added to the comedic turn. I don't know. I thought it was great.
Yeah, no, it's like having Bill Murray come out. You're like, oh, I see. It's this kind of movie.
Yeah, I thought the same.
Yeah, I see what's happening here,
Yeah.
and this is great.
Yeah, and I think actually, you know, getting back to that lady ordering everybody to take a swim, like the first thing the chef is like, the food's gonna go bad. Like he literally says that. And so yeah, like one of the reasons Woody doesn't get sick is possibly also because he has the burger and fries. Although that doesn't explain Dimitri's. I think he's just unstoppable. The man who sells shit.
Drink enough alcohol, you kill all that bacteria.
Yeah. Yeah, and then they're playing cards or whatever.
Yeah.
Take a drink.
One right.
Oh, and everybody's so fucking sweaty and gross. I love how gross everybody gets in this movie. It's just, maybe that's a stupid thing to say because obviously, like, there's the vomiting and whatnot, but it's more than that. Like, everybody just gets really.
No, they're like, I like that they're all like, I like that the majority of them are like old and just like, they're just like, even the people that aren't old, like they're just like unsavory looking, just I don't know. They're just repulsive. Yeah. Like it's deliberate.
Absolutely. Yeah, but then again, there's still a sort of pathos, or I don't know, pathos, or whatever, that like, is that lady, Indian Vulcan, like, disability doesn't, these people don't escape disability or misfortune, even though they're super rich and live lives of unbelievable privilege. There's still, and this goes to what Chris was saying, like, there's still humanity to each of these characters, even if they are caricatures, or stereotypes or what have you. Yeah, there's, you get something like a full picture.
It almost plays on the equality conversation from the beginning with Yaya, where it's like, this person's crippled, this person's having a heart attack. This guy is desperate and can't even have a woman near him, even though he's super rich. You know, this I know what you mean. They just sort of like they just no aspects of basic humanity are escaped just by being a rich piece of shit.
Well, I think because like one of the things that makes this movie so effective is it. So you have that equation. You've got these like kind of human-esque characters, and then you take them out of the context of power. Well, first of all, you like infantilize them. You just break them down completely, so they're just like nothing. And then you remove them from the context of power, and it just goes to show that like power is a context. Because what does Dimitri say? Like he was a fertilizer salesman. He was like, it's all about being in the right place at the right time. He was like, I was lucky, and I knew what to do with my fortune. You know, like fortune shined on me, and like money must not sleep. You know. And you know, he invested in whatnot, and any of these individuals could be removed from power, which is, I guess, why people in power always fear revolution to the extent that they do, because it doesn't feel like these individuals could topple, but they could topple and become nothing.
Same thing with the grenade. I feel like the grenade gag too. When the pirates attack them, is like the old lady picks it up. Oh, Johnny, look at like it's like even there's no fucking they're not even intelligent in some cases. You know, just no escape from being a general human.
Yeah. Sorry, I got the vomiting scene on in the background, and I forgot that it starts with someone like clearly like vomiting over the side of the building, because it's just like pelts the window. All of a sudden, like there's vomit pelting the window, and that's before everybody else starts getting sick.
Well, yeah, that's they're like sitting down and they're like, oh,
yeah, yeah. Just amazing, and also like a Monty Python-esque level of vomiting too. Like,
that's a great way to describe it.
Yeah, it just reminded me. You know, what's his name, Mr. Corso. Yeah, yeah, and like later on, after the girls are with what's his name, Jarmo, the the I'm gonna buy you a Rolex guy. She comes back, Yaya comes back, and then the way he woos her is to play the pool boy, you know, and to play like enter into games of like submission within the class structure, and in a carnivalesque fashion, because the fantasy of the pool guy is like, oh, he's a piece of shit, you know, he's just the pool guy, but he'll fuck you so good, you know, he'll dominate you in that moment, you know.
But he has to take on that identity to like, because it's like there's, you know, the Yaya's basic fantasy is like just there, like you know, here's the guy who could take care of her and you know, fulfill the trophy wife thing. So Carl has to play along.
Yeah. Yeah, he's endlessly submissive.
Yeah.
In again, like flipping it, you know, because like later on when he's with Abigail, and he's just like, maybe we should just tell everybody all this hiding around, you know, like
that's right.
He's just like it's trophy wife talk, or like what I would imagine it to sound like.
And Yaya has to give him the like the pep talk, right? Of like,
right. So, how do you do it? Stroke their ego. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Like exactly that. Stroke their ego, like deflect, put up boundaries.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because this is part of power. This is part of money, and part of the game of you know, gender dynamics within this universe, and perhaps, you know, like all universes.
Yeah. So Abigail is like she's literally the toilet manager on the ship, but on the island when they're shipwrecked, like she's the only one who knows how to fish or to build a fire or do anything. So she shows up in this like I guess escape sub that's stocked with a bunch of supplies. She's got those, and she just takes over. Like instead of like they keep trying to gesture to like, oh, like now we have to all pull together, and she's like, no, like I know how society works.
Yeah.
that was like the best moment was when she cooked the food and was like, "What did you do?"
Yeah,
That's right.
They're like, we worked on a yacht.
we did things, you know.
And that power. Who am I? You're the toilet manager. Who am I on the island? I'm the captain. And she's like throwing them like extra pieces of fish, like they're trained seals.
Little scraps as fucking squids.
Yeah.
The captain. Yeah, they're all excited.
Yeah, and she like it, and she becomes, and again, it's the context of power. Like she even starts emulating their sort of like the discourse of the rich. Like, maybe you shouldn't be so lazy. Don't. And later on, she's like, I work so hard, I do all these things. Don't I deserve an advantage? And you can easily hear all those people like justifying themselves in their place within society on some sort of meritocratic. The flaw in my statement is that, like, obviously she does have merit in this instance because she is able to build a fire and hunt and do all that kind of thing, but still you see the embryo of the people later on, like where this ethos comes from and where this behavior comes from. Like, basically she transforms into an aristocrat before their eyes.
Yeah.
And
That's
they're
funny.
and they're all brought low. I love, like, and they're so smart. Like, they know. Like Dmitri immediately knows.
Yeah, he gets it.
Yeah, like and embraces
he survived
it.
communism and like the transition, right? Like he profited off that. He gets it.
Yeah. Although he's not as effective as Jarmo versus the donkey.
Oh god, that's amazing.
Oh, what?
When dude hits the donkey over the head with the rock.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's not dead yet.
I love that moment. That's
so
such
good.
a perfect reversal of because they're just like, yes, we did it, and then like there's a pause and they're, it's not dead.
Yeah, they'll feel so bad, and they have to do the whole like traditional like guilt, like that the anxiety rituals about hunting and like hunter. They put him in a tuxedo. They make cage chasing.
I fucking love that.
The best is the fucking how he has to like brain it like 25 times.
Yeah.
Oh, and he's shaking and crying afterwards.
We're all fucking consoling him.
Yeah. Yeah, and when Dmitri finds his wife, and like takes her rings and bracelet and stuff like that,
he's
like,
like crying and
fantastic.
mourning her and like looting her.
Yeah.
Like putting all of her jewels and shit into a shoe.
Yeah. On the off chance, like, and it's a weird. It's not weird. It's very human. Like, you because that's Abigail does the same thing in the lifeboat before the roles are reversed. Like, she's found and like she's like people immediately start like, okay, we need you to be subservient like you are in the other context, and for a while the echo of the previous context remains. But yeah, she steals a bunch of pretzels and stuff. Like, she fills up that bag because she's realizing that she's getting screwed by these people, and she's like, fuck, I gotta squirrel something away. And it is a constant, like, I've never had to live in conditions where the fear of loss would motivate me to the extent that I would like squirrel shit away and like hoard, like in preparation for the bad times to come. But that's a real human thing. I'm thinking of the previous generation, who I think our friend Adam, I think he was talking about his grandparents always had like go bags or something like that. Like there's for most people on planet Earth, that sort of behavior makes a whole lot of sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you can definitely understand why she does it. Plus the sweet victory of taking a trophy husband.
With the whistle.
Oh god, yeah. I love
that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I remember what you said to me the first night I love you because you give me fish. Do you know why that's beautiful? Because it's the truth. And I love his like, it's like he's trying to like just get her to be open. It's a perfect situation for you. You get what you want and you have no obligations and responsibilities. And she's like, let's just have fun. Total reversal. Yeah.
And then and I'm skipping ahead, but like this big reversal occurs, and then it's revealed that this whole time they haven't been on a desert island. They've been on a resort island the entire time, but they're so fucking useless that they camped. I don't know if it's useless. Maybe that's they were just camping and so that way they're staying put so they could get found one day.
Yeah.
But all that was really required was for them to just climb over a mountain
to the other side of the island.
Yeah, or just like walk around.
Yeah.
Revealed by the presence of like this peddler who's like got the fake Rolexes or whatever, right? Like just on the beach. Like again, it all comes down to the products. Like it's you thought you could escape this power structure, but no, it's right here for you.
Yeah.
You know what? What did everybody think of the ending? I'm not typically a big fan of an interpretive ending.
Oh, so you're at like, did Abigail brain Yaya?
Yeah, did what was happening with Carl? It's a bit, yeah.
I think she smashed her brain in for sure. And Carl running through the forest. I don't know if it would have been a better movie to see her get brained like a donkey.
I think it would have.
So yeah, and because I noticed like watching through it this time, like Carl running through so everybody realizes. So Abigail and Yaya, they go for a walk together and they get to the other side of the island and they discover that it's a resort island. And meanwhile, the group finds out that it's a resort island in a different manner through that peddler. And then Carl's like, oh fuck, because
that's how I took it too. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like maybe he gets there in time. Maybe I don't think he does.
I don't think so. What struck me is that he's running through brambles and like he's cutting his face, like he's giving up his looks to run through all that, in an effort to stop whatever fucking crisis is about to happen, and talk Abigail down because I guess maybe he knows like what violence is possible. Now.
Oh, that whole walk, it was so tense. I was like, I know the danger of the situation, and then I couldn't believe that. I mean, you need it for the movie to happen, but she sits with her back to her and like, okay, I'm just gonna go over here for a minute before we go and tell anybody. Let's just sit down for a minute, and I just have to get up and I just have to walk over here. I would be so suspicious. But I think like the actress. Like I know the director wanted to have. He says that he doesn't know what happens. The actress who plays Abigail is like, of course she brains her, and like of course she does, because the line, of course, like what she's told is, I'm gonna help you, Abigail. When we get back, like maybe you could be my assistant or something.
Oh, that's the worst. Yeah, maybe you could be my fucking toilet lady again.
Yeah.
Basically, right?
Yeah. And she seems to be breaking before that. She puts the rock behind her head. She's all like, she's getting ready. She's like slunked over. She's hunting,
It's such a good scene.
Yeah. And then like, it looks like she's going to relent and she's going to like not kill Abigail because like her humanity is sort of coming through because is like, I want to help you. I want to help you. And then, but then she says, maybe you can be my assistant. And like, it's honestly like, it's like the sun's setting. Of course she kills her. Like, fuck, I'd kill her.
Crime of passion, second degree murder for sure.
Yeah. Totally justified. Yeah. So, and that's I guess the thing about this movie is like it's a collection of fun ideas that reveal certain social dynamics and is really gross and kind of superficial, but but is nonetheless like a full ride.
Yeah, you got your shipwreck story. You got like a little whatever. What's that fucking famous novel? Lord of the Flies situation.
Right. Yeah. Got your laughs. It was nominated for Academy Award for whatever that means. I guess that when a movie like this is nominated for Academy Award and doesn't win, like it seems perfect because like you could never like a movie like this cannot actually win anything or be recognized as I don't know, like a successful movie because it just like it insults the entire establishment that enables the creation of the movie. Because making a movie is like it's millions of dollars. Like you've got like the people satirized in this movie are the same fucking people who put the money up for the movie because it's an investment for them.
That said Parasite won, so
I did think while I was speaking, I was like, yeah. Although like I think maybe there's a safety of that in that it's sort of foreign.
Yeah.
And
talking about someone else. We don't recognize that happening here in America.
Yeah.
One of the funny things too, back on the island when the engine room guy,
mm-hmm.
they reveal that he's walking down the beach and they just like they plant that racism for you.
Right. Yeah.
Because he starts calling back to him and he goes, what do you think I wasn't working on the ship because I'm black? I see what's going on. So they start yelling back and forth at each other. But the funny part is, I don't know about you guys, but initially when you see them, because the only scene you saw previous to that was the pirates attacking them.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So the first thing I thought was, oh my God, that's one of the pirates too. So like, and it was like a sort of like a dupe you into having the racist thought yourself.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of reasonable because we didn't see any, I don't think, black people on the ship.
We were never introduced to that character, no, and he is hilarious on the island. And then, but you're not introduced to him previous to that, which is as soon as you hear the British accent come through.
Yeah, and even the manager or whatever, the whatever we want to call her, she doesn't seem sure that she knows him. She's just kind of like this, we have better things to worry about right now, basically.
Yeah, like it's a big ship. I don't see everybody all the time. But yeah, she only deals with certain classes of individual. Like I love that the underclass is stratified on the like on the yacht because there's the Filipino staff and they like they're underground, like literally, and above them, like there was that she's giving this speech, she's like, it's yes, sir, and no, like right away, ma'am.
They're cheering about the tips that they're gonna get. And
yeah.
Below them's like, ugh.
Yeah. And they're like, they're a more, they're a whiter group of individuals, but they're also like a more superficially attractive group of individuals. But they're still an underclass. And it's like like I already said, like there's different strata, and it's all baked in.
Well, the hilarious too is the water slide.
Which I think is
just like lined up going down the water slide and swimming in an exact uniform line back to the kitchen.
Yeah. That's a good point. So that way they can serve them later, and she's so happy. Yay! She's cheering on every one of them.
Everyone's going down, and they're just like absolutely zero expression on their face because they're just going back to work.
And that slide can only be an emergency slide, right? Like that's an escape slide for emergencies, because like I don't think these like that's not a regular feature.
No, I think they actually discussed that the water slide wasn't installed yet.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and then so they bring them down, swim them in the ocean. Not safe. Not a good idea. Everybody should have been wearing life jackets. Yeah. Yeah, and there's just like another reason this movie works so well to my mind is like, okay, so when she's like, I command you to enjoy the moment, I want you to be equal. Like there is the ideology of the rich where they feel that they can be common people, like they understand what that even fucking means, and that they can or maybe it ties in with like you're rich and you feel guilty and so you become a philanthropist. It might be of the same sort of impulse, but they are equal to everybody. Like that's even like, so it raises that ideology, and then it shows like actually you are all equal. If you eat raw octopus, you're just gonna fucking vomit and shit everywhere, and if if you land on an island, you're just gonna huddle in the dark, and be terrified of whatever that fucking sound was in the forest. Ah!
Yeah.
Ah!
Oh, did it end up being the donkey?
I was thinking that it was the donkey, and I yeah, but still, like you're a little afraid too. You're like, what's gonna come out of the darkness?
I thought it was gonna be like fucking monkeys or something.
Yeah.
That was so funny. And then I really like the shitting. Seeing the guy that was shitting and puking at the same time.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's right.
I've been there.
Yeah.
Having a great old time.
I've never been that sick. I'm not saying like I'm immune to it or anything, but I'm fortunate that
you're missing out, man.
Yeah. What a cleanse. Yeah.
It is. It's a real full body reset. You wake up white as a ghost.
Yeah, that's true. You're missing out on a fundamental aspect of humanity here.
I think so.
This is part of the Brotherhood of Man.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of which, looks like Matthew has just joined the Brotherhood of Men again.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Actually, no, it looked like it happened 16 minutes ago, so I've missed the action.
Oh man. You're gonna hear about this.
Oh, I don't think so. I guess, well, we'll leave that because people don't need to hear about this. For anyone listening, my son was reenacting the movie today. And although he wasn't shitting at the same time as he vomited, it wasn't beyond him, I don't think. So he's a true human.
Real human.
Anyway, yeah. But I should probably go check in on that. So let's wrap this up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. Great movie, good movie. I don't know where you guys stand. I'm on pretty great. Yeah. I ought to watch this again. I'm watching it right now. Just love seeing rich people just turn into invalids. Yeah.
I think very good. I'd have to think about it, but like I definitely enjoyed it.
Yeah, watching it. It is the only reason I care for it as much as I do is just because it's so offensive. And I was like, yes, like fuck. But it is a didactic movie. It is, as I said about the menu, like a hot dish served cold. It is ultimately just a movie about a series of ideas and explorations of ideas. And these aren't real characters. And it doesn't have to be like a real event to be a good movie. But yeah, it's just a complex morality play, and that's fine. It's certainly the long tradition of that, but it's not anything really much more than that. Which that's fine. That's not what Östlund's about. All right. Well, good. Wish I had something a little more upbeat. If we got anything more upbeat, we can say anything. No.
No.
Would you kill a donkey? How do you think you guys would do with killing a donkey?
I don't know. I'm watching the old guy just with the washed up corpse of his wife right now.
Oh fuck. I was looking for upbeat, but
I'd struggle with the donkey. I don't think I'd need a little consoling. But you know what? I bet you guys would be right there for me.
Yeah, if we were like broed up and hugged it out with you after, I think we could. I think you could do it.
Yeah, patch me up. Give me some little whiskey and a tuxedo.
Yeah.
Do a little dance. Memorize that or memorialize that donkey.
Yeah. talk about the art on the wall. I fucking love that. That's funny. This donkey. All right. Well.
I'd buy that for $1.
Happy birthday, Dave. She's from me.
Well, hey, can I have you both?
Sure. We've had our shot.
I'd buy that for